Des, King of the Pit TV. This one's Zombie Ritual. We're listening to Scream Bloody Girl from start to finish. We're off to a really good start. Let's keep it moving. Harmonic minor. The producer has shown the bassist a lot of love on this production. You know the just the I call it the tupper tupper. If you know the hardcore punk band SSD, if you don't and you're into death, check out the band SSD, yeah? It's hardcore punk, it's not metal, but if you like this drumming, frantic style, with the fast aggressive guitars, Society System Decontrol was the full title of the name, but SSD, that's the tupper tupper beat, that. I don't know whether you'd call it a skank beat normally. Am I wrong, am I right? But that tupper tupper, tupper 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 tupper. And then we've got, and I brought up SSD because it's reminiscent of them. They do that really well from start to finish throughout all of their music. That in accompaniment with the tremolo picked riffs, it always brings me back to one of my favourite bits of metal ever, which is Slayer's Postmortem. Is it Postmortem? Just before it leads into Rain in Blood. Just that 50-minute punk rock thrash metal assault. Always brings me back to that. It's one of my favourite sounds when it comes to like death metal style music. Yo, I'm just making sure I've said the right song. Yeah, it is Postmortem, but it's not the entirety of the tune, because the entirety is 2 minutes 45. It's that last 50 seconds of Postmortem which really tickles my pickle. That's all. I just needed to make sure I was talking the right stuff there. What was that? Was that the China? I always get confused when people just bring the China in out of nowhere. It's a very underused cymbal. So a lot of drummers don't even have a China. When they bring it out just every once in a while, just like then I think, what the hell was that? It sounded like I don't know. It sounded like somebody was smashing a fence with a wooden bat in the most pleasing way. The kick is really punchy on this production. It's not just like a muffled bass boom. Like you can actually hear the connection of the kick walloping that very in harmony with the low end, what we normally hear. Yo, for the people who've just joined me who don't know me too well, first and foremost, thank you for being here. Let me just say, right, Chuck, obviously a very great guitarist. Back in the day, I would have really enjoyed listening to these lead guitar solos and these shred solos. In this day and age, I'm not a fan of like shred guitar. I find it boring, but I do know that he likes a good noodle, so I'm expecting one or two on each and every track, essentially. But you know, when I don't comment on the solos and all that, I'll maybe get a bit bored. I'm not too fussed, to be honest. I'd rather hear a good riff, a good rhythm, you know, a good melody, perhaps. Awesome. Let's keep it moving. The Nile of Life. Best thing about a band such as this is that I don't really know what's coming up next. You know, I listened to Paramore. It's completely like the opposite side of things, but I was listening to Paramore before this for the first time. And before that, I was listening to a beatdown hardcore band. And the thing is, you're kind of limited. They do what they do well, but they don't necessarily. There's not much room to maneuver as far as the sound goes. But with a band like this, you know, there's a lot of space to come up with some quality riffing or melodies or hooks. You know, so I'm looking forward to what we find in this record.